Hey peeps, it's Tripl-L, and today I'm here to bring you My Hero Academia Chapter 104, Climax, Each of Our Battles. So, guys, I'm just going to do this impressions, and we're just going to have fun with this chapter. So, overall, I enjoyed the chapter. It was fun. I just have to say, my god, Inasa is freaking overpowered. Did you see him doing that stuff with the balls? Whoa, a freaking tornado. Now, let's try and deduce what's going on here. We see that he's making a tornado. We see his costume. He looks like a freaking winter conqueror. I would see this man coming in from the white north and just being totally, oh man, he'd be leading an army of totally undead folk. God, that guy, he looks creepy and, not creepy, just scary and intimidating. Now, his costume is very detailed, very designed. It's kind of odd, actually. Now we see that there is kind of smoke or steam coming out of his costume, and the reason I'm talking about this is because it's interesting, right? He talks a lot about the metaphor of heroes are hot, they're just always on fire, they're always doing stuff, and he wants to be like that. He wants to just embrace the passionate fury, and it's interesting, right? Because he's displaying what looks like a wind quirk. But because his costume itself has elements that seem to suggest heat or ignition, I'm wondering if the tornado itself is only being produced because maybe he can only make cold air currents, or maybe he can only make hot air currents, because then it leads to a scenario where it makes sense that he would be able to cause a tornado by just using one particular temperature current. Now, because he's already been drawn in parallel with Todoroki, they have a direct comparison. It's been established 2 chapters ago. If he was to have a split quirk like Todoroki has, in the case that he's able to produce hot air from one hand and cold air from another, that'd be very interesting. But regardless, his wind-based quirk is really cool, and the degree of control he has over it, if he only has he can only manipulate warm air currents, that's still ridiculously awesome if he's able to pull that off. But anyway, Isana's quirk, whoa. So this chapter was very much about displaying quirks. If you look at it, a lot of people just had their quirks on full display. The guys from the school, the ones who were in the initial assault, I thought it was cool how they had the combination of the hardening quirk and then the boomerang quirk. Very neat. It does show as well that those guys are really good at working together. The other thing that was really cool was that our guys, the guys from UA, did put a showing of their own cool moves, and we got, pretty much the spotlight on a character that doesn't usually get the spotlight. So we had Jiro fighting off the boomerangs with her souped up gear and using pretty much her heartbeat and transmitting that through the ground. And then we had Ashido using her acid, and we find out that she can manipulate the properties of said acid. Very cool upgrade. Very much loved it. And then we had Tokoyami going in and using his black Ankh. And I just thought it was very funny how Izuku had to take the moment to comment, hey, that's easier to say and it sounds super cool, guy. Whoa. And it's just funny that Izuku had the time to make that little side note. But it makes sense. I mean, they're kids. They're going to think that sounds cool. And good for Tokoyami showing off his particular character quirks. Anyway, Black Ankh and Tokoyami's powers in general are super awesome to look at. And then we got the showing of the Quake Guy, and him pretty much destroying the whole place. And that was pretty cool too. Last chapter I was saying that maybe he had a quirk that triggered on handshakes, but now that really does seem to not be a thing. It seems it's not a thing. So maybe that was just his personal character quirk. Maybe he likes shaking hands because it mimics his ability to shake the ground. Anyway, overall, it was pretty much just showing off all the quirks. The group ends up getting separated. Oh, speaking of the group, did you notice that Tsuyu isn't in that group? I didn't see her. If she's somewhere in that panel, please guys let me know, but I'm pretty sure she's not there. And that's very odd. It's very odd that Tsuyu isn't there, but it might mean if Tsuyu's not there, it's because she's probably either going to get the spotlight later on, or she's going to be progressing through this tournament in such a way that the author doesn't want to give away what her special new ability is yet. So that'd be really cool if that ends up being the case. Let's see, what else can I say? No, that's pretty much it. It was pretty much a combat chapter. At the end, Izuku is pretty much facing off against a face full of boob again. And I really think it's nice that the author is really trying out how to draw the female body, and I think it's a very artistic approach to it. I thought that character, the little interaction she had with Izuku at the end, was also very interesting. Hopefully Izuku will gain another fan in this. Let's see, what else can I say? Face full of boob. No, yeah, you know, it was also nice to see that Eraserhead, I really do think he has a complete amount of faith in his class. I really do think, because like we have the teacher, the laughing teacher, pretty much kind of talking him down, you know, this is gonna be hard for those kids. But Eraser is not really saying much. I think it really does speak to his unshakable confidence, face full of boob. And I really do think his confidence in his class is going to be it's going to be a big thing in the climactic moment. It's going to be a very satisfying moment when we finally do see him just saying, yeah, I told you so. These guys are freaking awesome. Go suck it. And so, yeah, I think that's pretty much it for me. Really, it is a simple chapter, but it's pretty much an exhibition chapter, just showing off everyone's quirks. It's going to be next chapter. It's going to be very interesting because now everyone's separated. And looking at the chapter title in particular, Climax, Each of Our Battles, it means that this was probably where they get separated. Now they kind of have to work in smaller units. But Izuku did point out that working together is going to be very important because that's what every other team is doing at this point. They're working together to take out Yue. So I want to see Izuku kind of recoup with his group and see what they can do. Anyway, guys, I think that's where I'll leave it today. Let me know what you thought about the chapter, and till next time, have a good day.